Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I could think of. God, till the day I keep the ink up.
What's up, YouTube? Today, we'll be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
Can you imagine an alligator just trying to prove that the alligator's an alligator? And the bird is like, look, I'm a bird. I can fly. Look, the bird is just being a bird. However, if the bird were to try to be an alligator, something that it's not, you can see how life would be difficult. Now you can understand how not everyone, but a lot of people that then comes into money. It's like, yo, where these porn habits come from? Where's this alcohol, snorting cocaine? I had a really good friend in Hollywood that I thought had it all. Girls, cars, mansions, money, boom, put a bullet into his brain. But I was trying to pattern what I thought success was based off of him. And I was like, wait, maybe I should create my own version of success. And it was that moment I realized, I was like, well, maybe we've been lied to. I want to live a joyful life. I want to be peaceful. I don't want to stress out. My whole life, it's pleasurable to be in.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Jeffrey Epstein had a hand in the 2008 mortgage collapse? Yes, allow me to introduce you to Liquid Funding Limited. Epstein was the president of this company after working for JP Morgan and Bear Stearns. Yes, Liquid Funding Limited was a pioneer in collateralized debt obligations. That's what led to the mortgage collapse of 2008, something that we're still paying for. Well, not the bankers on Wall Street, they all got bonuses. Here's a fun email between Epstein and the wife of a governor in which it appears Epstein is rewording a piece of legislation so that it will allow him to travel. And I mean, that makes sense because all the Egyptian rich oil tycoons wanted to meet with him. Shout out. Oh, and here's a document showing that Elon Musk was subpoenaed in an Epstein victim lawsuit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Aren't there a lot of misconceptions about, say, sunlight for one thing? That if we're out in the sun very long, oh, that's absolutely dangerous to us.
I come from the state of Arizona where we got lots of sun. Now, on this list, we're way down. All the northern states like New York, Oregon, Washington, they all got a lot more skin. And as a matter of fact, the whole northern states have over 2.5 times as much as the southern states. And then we take Black America. They avoid the sun like the plague. They got 3 times. And yet if you go to Africa where they're bathing in the sun all day long, virtually unknown. So wherever we go, wherever there's sun, there's no. The sun prevents all. And it does it, as the scientist says, you produce tons of vitamin D. The vitamin D terminates the telomere, The vitamin D also allows you to absorb calcium, which raises your pH, which floods your body with oxygen. Otto Warburg said that oxygen will terminate. We know exactly why it works. The sun prevents. God knew what he was doing. The AMA is wrong.
Introducing to you the world's smallest electric motor, which you know they are putting in your
prototype rotor
shots.
for the world's smallest handmade electric motor. It's the largest component in the assembly, and I made it on a watchmaker's lathe. Here it is sitting on a grain of sand. So let's get cracking, and I will tell you about the motivation for this project. It was
Sitting
originally
on a grain of
inspired
sand.
by one of Richard Feynman's infamous lectures entitled "There's Plenty of Room at the
motor.
Bottom." In this lecture, he offered a considerable cash prize to anyone who could make an electric motor no larger than 1/64th of an inch cubed. That's about the size of a grain of sand. So the question is, using similar tools and techniques, can we achieve the same feat? To stand a chance of making a motor at this scale, it has to be very simple. The idea here is 4 electromagnets are attached to a base plate, and the rotor sits between the electromagnets. By energizing diagonal pairs of coils with opposite polarities, the hope is we can rotate the magnetized rotor. So I placed a microscope cover slip, basically a thin piece of glass, over the electromagnets and applied a drop of watch oil. This allowed the Alnico disc to float on a thin film. I turned on the electromagnets and this is what I saw.
So what do you think these people in your governments got when they inject you full of lipid nanoparticles?
You know who created Bitcoin?
There's a game called Space.
That's pretty crazy to consider when you think about it. I mean, if you're starting to make motors and stuff that are the size of a grain of sand and that could be inside of the body, I don't know. Like, what are the possibilities and applications for this are like seem to be endless. There has been a conspiracy around the idea of smart dust. I mean, conspiracy, it's been proven, and there's a lot of, scientific papers on it. But yeah, to be able to have a motor at that size that's powered by the body itself, let's say, I mean, I can't even imagine what type of application there is. But it kind of puts a bit of meaning into the people that had fear of being implanted with a chip. Like, obviously, you don't need a chip. You're walking around with a phone everywhere you go. So obviously, you don't need a chip. But, there might be other applications that they could use this for. What do you guys think they could use this technology for? Have you guys ever seen the size of this? Do you guys think it's possible that they're going to release it to us? And how? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
It's Quest 4 that came out in 1991. In this game, there is a coin that you can spin called Buckazoids. If you look on the coin, it has the Bitcoin logo on it. No way. Here's where it gets spooky.
There it goes.
Who's the developers? Rod Nakamoto and Satoshi Usaka. Who did they know? Hal Finney. Who is Hal Finney? Hal Finney is the first person to receive 10 Bitcoin on the Bitcoin ledger. And when he received those Bitcoins, he was only a mile away from Satoshi Nakamoto. So you have two developers that have the pseudonym in their names, Satoshi Nakamoto, and they knew the first person to receive a Bitcoin transaction. Hal Finney right now, he died in 2014 from ALS, and he is in Scottsdale, Arizona right now, frozen. Where do you want to keep your crypto when you want to keep it safe? In cold storage, just like Hal Finney. He's right now in cold storage. Just like Demolition Man, if you go back to that movie, I think that's going to happen the same thing with Hal Finney, and they're going to thaw him out when they have a cure.
Beneath the blazing sun and upon the golden sands of the Nile, mankind embarks on a monumental feat, the first ever construction of a colossal stone pyramid rising proudly from the desert floor. At the heart of this vast site, thousands of workers labor tirelessly, hauling and placing enormous blocks of stone with astonishing precision. Though only the lower tiers have taken shape, the grandeur to come is already apparent. The pyramid stands incomplete, yet awe-inspiring. Nearby, carved from solid bedrock, the majestic head of a lion with a human face begins to emerge. Dubbed the Sphinx, this enigmatic sentinel is destined to watch over the sacred grounds for centuries to come. Engineers, dignitaries, and curious onlookers gather to witness history in the making. Never before has such ambition been poured into the sands of time. And so, before our very eyes, a legend is born. Not from the pages of ancient texts, but from the hands of modern men, chiseling their place into eternity.
Congress' right to create the history. There go the workers, y'all. They've been documented this stuff. The weights and the measurements. Preserving the perfection. Okay? Look, more workers. More workers. Congress' right to create. And they touch it up every other year. They touch everything up. Everything up. They touch it up every other year.
About some of the successes you've had with the major food companies and what the reaction was when you started taking them on.
Chick-fil-A was one of the first ones that I took on. I wrote a blog post called Chemical Filet or Chick-fil-A. There was close to 100 ingredients in the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. The company actually reached out to me, invited me to their headquarters, and started to make some changes and improvements to their product. It's still not perfect, and it has a lot of room for improvement, but that was the first step for making me realize that I had a voice and that I could change the food industry. And then from there, I took on Kraft macaroni and cheese, one of the most iconic meals in America, and I asked them to remove artificial food dyes. They were already not using artificial food dyes in Europe, because in Europe there's a warning label if you use an artificial food dyes that says may cause adverse effects on activity and attention in children. Right. And they were putting dyes in their mac and cheese here in the United States. We got that out. We got a chemical out of Subway bread called azodicarbonamide. It's a chemical you find in yoga mats and shoe rubber. Subway was not using this chemical in all these other countries. The rubber that you find in yoga mats was found in the buns at Subway. And you said, hey, can you take the rubber out? Yeah, well, you know, if you turn a yoga mat sideways, you see evenly dispersed air bubbles. Well, it was doing the same thing in bread. This was a chemical that when it's heated, it turns into a carcinogen. Wow. It does not belong in our food. It's definitely not eating fresh.
Henry, speak to me. I want to hear your voice. Can you talk to me? So let me hear you. Tell me your full name.
Henry has dementia and he needs total assistance with all his activities of daily living.
Let's try your music, okay? And then you tell me if it's too loud or not, okay?
Music is inseparable from emotion. So it's not just a physiological stimulus, If it works at all, it will call the whole person, the many different parts of their brain, and the memories and emotions which go with it.
I supposed to sing with this?
You can if you like. I'm going to take the music for 1 second, okay? Just to ask you a few questions. Okay?
How awake was he?
I'm going to give it back to you.
Was he still lost in his dementia? Or had the music in some way changed that?
Henry.
Yeah?
Do you like the iPod? Do you like the music you're hearing?
Yes.
Tell me about your music.
Well, I don't have none, I mean.
Ask yes or no questions. Do you like music?
Yeah, I'm crazy about music. And you play beautiful music, beautiful sound. Beautiful.
Did you play music when you were, did you like music when you were young?
Yes, I went to big dances and things.
What does music do to you?
Give me the feeling of love. No man, figure right now the world need to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music here. Beautiful, oh, lovely. And I feel the band of love, the dream. The Lord came to me, made me holy. I'm a holy man. So he gave me these sounds.
Sorry. Getting a bit emotional. But that is beautiful. To see the power of music. That's why it's the art form that I chose and that I love to work on, is because what it creates in people, I find, is beyond the borders of what audio or video is. It as you see with this man, he's sort of out of touch with the outside world. But when he connects with the music, it creates a frequency and a vibration to which seems to wake up his whole body, his whole being, including his spirit. It's a beautiful thing to see. I just wanted to share that this I find it super inspiring, and hopefully we could continue in the further generations to keep using music as something beautiful. It's being used and it's being reduced to something that is monetary and something that is about profit. But hopefully we could get back to the real meaning of music, because it can save lives. Truly. Let's keep on rocking.
Now, this right here is biogeology, and could these petrified caves be the inside of an intestinal tract of a giant? I mean, just look at the similarities in this medical picture and this cave. I mean, could this really be the inside of a giant and we think it's just a cave, but it's really something more? And take a look at this next medical picture and you tell me it's not identical to the top picture. And that is showing a large intestine. And even these salt mines, to me, it looks like a lot of muscle and tissue. In my opinion, a lot of us think that there's no evidence of giants, but I think their flesh and blood is around us. And some of these petrified caves and salt mines are showing us the remnants of what they used to be. And to me, this is more than just fancy stones. This is true evidence showing that at one time, giants did exist.
For the first time ever in history, a species has cloned another species. And I'm not talking about us. It was the queen of the Mesaurobiquus ant. I think that's how you say it. And it cloned the mesostructure ant by using science that we barely understand. What this queen did is it mated with this other ant species, which is not possible. Instead, it just stole this ant's sperm. Then it took it back to her eggs. And this is actually where it becomes like not believable. She proceeded to extract her nuclear DNA from these eggs. That's science. But she did not remove her mitochondrial DNA. This is all part of her evil genius plan. When these eggs finally hatch, they hatch as mesostructure ants. The ants she cloned. But this is where the evil genius plan comes in. Naturally, these structure ants would go back to their normal colonies. But the queen specifically left the mitochondria DNA there to prevent this. It carries her pheromone. So if these ants try to go back, they're gonna die. So the ants become trapped and are forced to be the worker ants. That's messed up. Main point, ants might be smarter than us. Don't underestimate them. I mean, we still don't understand how they do this. Other than that, thanks for watching and follow for more.
We actually fund it ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of work, it's a great business to be in, central banking. You print money and people believe it.
They literally laugh at us. A 1% minority, these global elites that have found a way to infiltrate nations around the world, to create central banking operations that allow them to print this piece of paper physically and digitally into oblivion, thus reducing our buying power. Therefore, prices are up, the middle class is being abolished, you have first world countries becoming third world, you have wars that are being funded by both sides of the party, you have fractional reserve banking where they take your money on deposit, lend it back out, and make money off of it. You have political insider trading, you have influence from lobbyists and bills and senates and all sorts of things that are getting passed without our consent, unconstitutional bylaws, all sorts of broken infrastructures. And if you think this is bad, you're right. And if you think that's a problem, you're right. And if you think this is accidental, that's where we're wrong. It's all designed and set up this way to make us tired, to make us stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, living in fear, stress, and anxiety, to not be able to think clearly, to question the very powers that have been in place for so long. It's time to rise up and share and speak out. When will it end?
Here today to defend the hypothesis that these are the most dangerous products in our food supply, bar none. 12 years of scientific investigation and following the science leads me to this conclusion. 2010, 1 out of 3 people are dying of disease in the U.S. All right, how about this is a 62-fold increase in cancer deaths in 200 years. How about type 2? This is a 4,643-fold increase in 126 years. All right, how about Alzheimer's and dementia? Where are we today? 2023, 55 million cases. 1 new case every 3 seconds. How about obesity? 35-fold in 118 years. Why is this happening? Total vegetable oil consumption. This is our published data from 2017. By 2005, 86% of added fats came from vegetable oils. Vegetable oils are rich in omega acid. Look at the omega-6 climbing from 1.1% all the way to 11.8% by 2008. This is the problem. All right, so that's an 11-fold increase in omega-6 in about 145 years. So these vegetable oils, they accumulate in our bodies and they become pro-oxidative, pro-inflammatory, toxic through advanced lipid oxidation end products, and nutrient deficient. They have no vitamins A, D, or K2. This is the perfect recipe for metabolic disease and physical degeneration, period.
They buy a whole housing, like a 500 house division, and they're going to get those at a huge discount because they only make 5 models and they buy everything in bulk. We might have had to pay $500,000 for it. They're getting them at $300,000. Okay,
Right.
so they buy 500 houses at $300,000. Okay, they put them all in a portfolio. They could flip that through a secondaries market, but even better, they could hold those houses for a year. Don't let anyone move in. Keep it looking like a construction zone. Okay, and then a year later, they sell 3 of those houses that they bought for $300,000 to themselves in another fund for $700,000.
And they've just
And
more
that
than
creates
doubled there.
3 comps in the neighborhood. They do 1 of each of the models. Okay. And now the entire neighborhood, each house is valued at $700,000. And then they're going to turn them into obscene rentals. And simultaneously, they're going to have a double and a half value on that portfolio to borrow against.
Right.
And every American in that community was just priced out of everything around that community.
They're so smart. Aren't they just so smart the
They're
way
so
they do this?
disgusting.
They're
Yeah.
so just clever the way
So
they do
clever.
this, isn't it?
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be is one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all.
Yeah, no, well, we're back.
Beautiful. Just reminds you sometimes how it's, it's so easy to brighten up someone's day, Who knows if someone out of those people was having a bad day, was stuck in their thoughts, was stuck in a bad loop. And then in 1 second, boom, it got brought out. Kind of makes me think of another thing that is kind of subconscious, but has been taught to us, that most people want the worst for us in a way, like everyone's out to get you type of mentality. But in reality, when you look at it, more than 90% of us are just trying to have a good life and have a good day and be nice to other people. You know what I mean? Little things like that help me keep things in focus sometimes. It's easy to say I'm looking for information and always look at the worst of things, but it's also important to keep perspective. Let's keep on rocking, baby.
Let's take off, so I'll call you back. All right, bye. God, mobiles, eh? Can't live with them. Can't stop them ringing.
I wouldn't know. I haven't got one.
You haven't got a mobile? You haven't got a mobile? Oh, you're a bit of a one-off. Still, I expect people just page you, do they?
I haven't got a pager.
You haven't got a pager? You haven't got a pager? Well, might you just email people on your laptop, do you?
No, I haven't got a laptop.
You haven't got a laptop? You haven't got a laptop? What are you playing video games on? You haven't got any video games? How do you relax?
Well, I try to read the paper. Besides, don't you find all this technology gets in the way of things?
Like what?
I don't know, friendships.
I wouldn't know, I haven't got any friends.
You haven't got any friends? You haven't got any friends? Still, leaves you more time for your family.
I haven't got a family.
You haven't got a family? You haven't got a family? Still, at least you got your health. You haven't got your health? Still, there's more to life than health.
I haven't got a life.
You haven't got a life? You haven't got a life? What have you got?
Got a mobile.
When you become a conspiracy theorist, you get validated almost every single day.
You're saying they're brainwashing. Okay, you're saying these people that are experts in brainwashing is using the Department of Education to brainwash our children.
Yes.
What are they after? Why are they doing it?
Well, if you want to move a country from a free individualistic economy,
which we have.
Yes, or had.
Or had, okay.
To a planned economy, you have to do it through the schools. You have to dumb down and brainwash, change the attitudes and values. You have to completely, social engineering has to go on constantly. And many teachers know what I'm talking about. And people are going to say, well, when did this start? And who on earth ever did this? Why would a plan like that be allowed to be carried out?
That's right.
Well, then you have to go back to 1934, which I will do, and we have to go to the three-pronged fork, okay? So I do think that the watershed year, although you can go back to the early part of the century when the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegie Corporation were deeply involved in education, and that it was decided then that Carnegie would deal with the international part and Rockefeller domestic. So they commissioned the American Historical Association to put together a study of the social studies, and they came up with lots of volumes, but I have one little volume, Conclusions and Recommendations for the Social Studies. And basically that little one is an original book. I wish I'd brought it with me. Too bad. But I don't even dare let it out of the house. It's so important. It called for changing the United States through the schools from a free individualistic economy to a socialist, collectivized, planned economy in the New World Order.
It says that in the book?
Yes.
And that book was written when?
In 1934.
By who?
It was the Carnegie Corporation paid for it. The American Historical Association put it together. And
can people get that book in the library?
No, they can't. They were very instrumental in getting the Elementary and Secondary Education Act passed, which, as I said before, changed education from knowledge, content-based, academic, to performance-based behavior, And from that time on, because that was necessary for what we're looking at now with school to work agenda is the planned economy is performance-based.
So they're training workers.
They're training
not thinkers, not leaders.
Exactly. At that time, you had a general, Buck Chisholm, a Canadian general psychiatrist, who was a very close friend of Alger Hiss's. And he gave a speech in 1945 to the World Health Organization, which basically recommended getting rid of the conscience.
Wow.
Yes. And he said we would do it through the schools. We would retrain the teachers to be little psychiatrists. He said it is an international system they're looking at. They're going to change the behavior of the children. They're going to change the teachers' training. They're going to do everything. He told them everything.
And they didn't believe him?
No, they just let, well, you know what goes on.
If you want to learn more.
Now, it's easy to listen to something like this and say, credibility bias. Maybe that person is wrong and maybe her story is different. And I agree. But I think we could easily look at the education system and see what it has created and the outcomes it has made throughout the years. And I'm positive we could do better. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the educational system was made to dumb us down and to take away conscience, take away thinking, and to make good workers? Or do you guys think that, yeah, let me know what you think, because that's what I think personally. Because when I look at the last 100 years, I'm realizing that the system hasn't adapted with the times. It hasn't. So it's as if it's stuck on an old timeline. So let me know what you guys think down below, and let's keep on rocking.
About how all of this has happened, go get my free books right from my website. Digital, you can have it on your phone. There is over 1,000 pages of information. One book on symbols and what they mean, because when you start to learn symbols and you understand, you've been seeing symbols your whole life and you never understood what they mean. It is a language. Learn to speak it. I have another book on where religion and all of this stuff came from. It came from somewhere. It came from the Northern Hemisphere, and there's a fascinating reason why. And my third book is called Deception in the Modern Age, and it's exactly this. It's how we have been manipulated. It's through a lot. It's through vibration, through chemicals, through literal having people just repeat nonsense into our brains over and over and over again for years and years. We have been manipulated on every level, and if you want to learn how, go get it for free. I love you all so much, and this is my opinion.
Why is it like this in the USA? You don't have mega-sized cereal for mega-sized people? Large corporations don't own the entire shelf? You're telling me that high fructose corn syrup and monosodium glutamate, as well as soybean oil, are not the main ingredient in all of your foods? But how art thou become super addicted and eat more? See, the problem in America is there's a ton of different options that you can choose from here, right? Pickles shouldn't have food coloring and should be in a chilled section. All of these are sugars and oils. Sugars and oils. And everything we eat is the same. Mayonnaise. Because we're the lab experiment. All the propaganda of us sharing one another how to make our lives better. Costs $2.47 for 2 pounds of black beans, which is going to contain one ingredient. It costs $5 for a giant bag of chips. Just kidding, $7.29 for your example of America. It's a Kraft Heinz company, so you know that has the bad stuff in it, but this large corporation in America.
Watch Tyson's porn. Look, here he is. See? Oh, it's the phone, yeah. You can see his leg buckle.
Fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions.
Yes, it's got to be June's the crowd man. And hang him down again.
Tyson misses an uppercut, and the opponent makes a motion as if Tyson hits him in the stomach.
my friend.
This looks rehearsed. He was supposed to go down with a body shot.
Watch this carefully, because Tyson in the blue is a bomber. He's trained by no other than Custy Amato.
This isn't a knockdown. Tyson pushes him down with his left hand, and the opponent is laid out as if he's hit with a power blow. Even the way he's laying down looks fake.
Oh, we are the champions. We are the champions.
Понял? Зевнул.
In this moment, Tyson acts.
He outsmarted a bank and gave him a...
It's not to take away from the legend of Mike Tyson. I mean, it's not really about that. It's more the point, for me personally, it's more the point of the bread and circus, you know? The circus and the bread. Whether it be politics, whether it be Hollywood or the sports, you know? Like, I think it's all just a game. And at the same time, I mean, it is a game, but I mean, it's used to keep people distracted. But throughout the years, it became such of a business thing and money, and you're creating an event that generates $250 million in a few hours. So obviously there's incentive for all the betting and all the stuff to have less than honest situations, right? So it wouldn't surprise me. Anyways, I just wanted to say this is not to take away anything from Mike Tyson. I respect the man. It's just, you know, sports. It's something we follow and something that a lot of people are into and that I feel occupies a lot of time and a lot of space in our minds. And I have nothing against it. It's just an observation. What do you guys think about it? Let me know down below. And let's keep on rocking.
A taste of their own medicine with a very simple trick. Dimitri got a flashy credit card offer in the mail, but noticed the fine print had an interest rate of 45% as opposed to the advertised 12%. So Dimitri rewrote the fine print with terms he would be happy with, adding 0% interest, no fees, unlimited credit, and even added penalties the bank would owe him money if they changed the agreement or tried terminating the contract. He sent it back to the bank, and to his shock, the bank actually signed it. And that's when the fun began. For 2 years, Dimitri had unlimited spending power before the bank even realized they had been played, and tried suing him for late fees, but the court ruled in Dimitri's favor. He then countersued the bank for breaching the contract, and they ended up settling by giving him a 30% cashback card.
And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. Remember, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you're riding a wave, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay weird, stay critical. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts.
Peace. Now it's time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up. Making a change from living this strange. Living this strange.